Senator Quick.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I want to go on record as saying that I support gun rights and those. I actually own guns myself. I have friends who own guns. I have family who have guns and are avid hunters and sportsmen. But the reason I do rise and oppose LB68 is more because of the reason that cities and villages and communities and municipalities can be sued. And in the long run, that can end up costing taxpayer dollars, and we need to watch that carefully. I do want to thank Senator Chambers for bringing up about the storage of ammunition. I did contact the Grand Island City Attorney to see if they had any objection to this bill. He sent me an email, and I discussed it with Senator Hilgers. He informed me that he didn't think they had anything to worry about, but and that this would be covered. But I want to go ahead and read his email regardless, because evidently he feels that there is some concern. He states that I have a concern with respect to LB68 and the limit it would replace on the ability of the City of Grand Island to enforce rules regarding storage of firearm ammunition and its components. If enacted, Section 5 of the bill would amend Section 18-1703, reissue revised statutes of Nebraska. And then he highlighted some of the areas below, which he cites cities and villages do not have the power to regulate any highlighted ammunition and storage. And then further on, he highlighted the part that describes the ammunition and what it all includes. He also says the City of Grand Island enforces the provisions of the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA 495, Chapter 14, Small Arms, Ammunition and Primers, Smokeless Propellants, and Black Powder Propellants, a code adopted by the Nebraska State Fire Marshal. If LB68 is enacted, it would, in its current form, the City of Grand Island would no longer have legal authority to enforce the provisions of NFPA 495. Even though it is the law of the state by the reason of its adoption by the state fire marshal. Moreover, simply having a policy to enforce a rule without actually taking any enforcement action would provide a cause of action for a lawsuit against the city. He goes on to say that LB68, if enacted, would leave cities and villages unable to regulate in any manner the quantity or location of stored bullets, primers, or propellant powder, except through zoning ordinances that encompass firearms business along with other businesses. A private non-business owner could store tons of live ammunition, primers, smokeless propellants, and black powder propellants, whether or not properly or safely stored, at a location within the city. The city would be powerless to investigate and regulate such activity. Moreover, a city might even be required to defend itself in a lawsuit seeking damages for the city's mere act of contacting the state fire marshal for enforcing action involving improperly stored ammunition. For the above reasons, I'm opposed to Section 5 of LB68 as currently written. And then he goes on to say, I take no official position on the other sections of this bill. So for those reasons, that's why I cannot support LB68 as it is written. I will say, when I was out campaigning and I talked to several constituents, I told them, and they asked me about how I felt about gun rights. I told them that I believe in gun rights. We also talked at length about, a lot of them believe that citizens need to take gun safety courses and make sure they're registered and follow all the rules. And they especially wanted to make sure that new gun owners took gun safety courses along with the younger students, younger children that begin hunting, to make sure they take those type of courses. We have a lot of kids in Grand Island that go through they have the sporting clays there, they have the state shoot, and it's a big activity in Grand Island. So, but I'm opposed to LB68 as written. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Quick. Senator Erdman.